The story begins in the heart of galactic darkness, a place called the Grelzen Exchange. Known across the criminal underworld as the most secure and profitable slave-trading hub in the galaxy, this is not a secret operation hidden in shadows. No, the Grelzen Exchange broadcasts its auctions like primetime entertainment. In this sector of space, sapient life is currency, and suffering is commerce. The Grelzen Exchange operates with impunity due to its location in deep neutral space, far beyond the reach of any one empire's jurisdiction. In a galaxy full of alliances, trade agreements, and legal loopholes, this zone remains untouchable. It's a sanctuary for the worst of the worst slavers, pirates, warlords, and buyers with too many credits and not enough conscience. And today, two new lots are on display. Ava and Milla, two Terran girls, are marched onto the auction platform. They're bound with advanced energy restraints, wearing synthetic slave garb. They look battered, bruised, shaved, exhausted, but what stands out is their posture. Even as chemicals suppress their strength, their eyes remain defiant. They are survivors. And in their eyes, there's still fire. The girls were taken during a pirate raid on a Terran diplomatic freighter near the Epsilon Corridor, a known danger zone riddled with raiders. Earth had grown too comfortable in recent years, believing diplomacy and galactic unity would protect their own. That illusion dies the moment the girls are sold in chains. Buyers in the audience, comprised of dozens of alien species, discuss them in hushed, excited tones, unmodified, humans untouched by genetic dampening or behavior implants. Rare. They're death-worlders. Put them in a fighting pit, and they'll fetch 10 times the price. Fertility's high. Sell them to the breeders. They are dehumanized instantly. To the crowd, Ava and Milla are products. What makes this worse is that it's all being streamed across illegal galactic networks. Thousands tune in. Pirates, sadists, nobles hiding behind private channels. To them, it's entertainment. Just another Thursday, and yet they have made one fatal mistake. When the pirates captured Ava and Milla, they overlooked Ava's background. She wasn't just a passenger. She was a software engineer, trained in Earth's military protocols. During transport, she used fragments of a damaged interface to briefly access the pirate ship's systems. She couldn't send a full SOS, but she didn't need to. She only needed to do enough. A single, ping-a-ghost signal, bouncing off the debris field, managed to reach an ancient Terran satellite grid. It was a remnant from an older era of exploration. It wasn't meant for distress calls. Supposed to still be active, but Earth doesn't forget. That signal reached a listening station in the Terran Defense Network, a station that logs anomalies from the frontier. At first, it was dismissed as junk data, but once it was cross-checked with missing persons and interstellar movement logs, someone noticed Ava was on a diplomatic vessel. That vessel was reported missing. The logs were escalated. An inquiry was launched. It took less than 6 hours for Earth's military intelligence division to identify where the signal originated. Less than 4 more to trace the pirate's likely destination. By the time the auction began, Earth was watching. But Earth wasn't just watching. Earth was planning. The Grelzen Exchange believed itself untouchable, protected by 3 key factors: its remote location in neutral space, its advanced planetary shields, and mercenary defense grid. The galaxy's apathy, or at least its unwillingness to act on behalf of primitive or inferior species. But they underestimated humanity in 2 critical ways. First, they forgot that humans never leave their own behind. Not anymore. Second, they had no idea what Earth was capable of when it stopped being diplomatic. In this moment, that auction stage, humanity made its decision. This would not be a rescue. This would be a message. Part 2 shifts the tone from despair to righteous fury, moves the narrative from the auction platform to the war room of Earth's response, the beginning of vengeance. The human military has received the signal and identified the location, Grelzen Exchange. What follows is not a diplomatic protest or a legal petition. Earth sends the vanguard. At the heart of this response is Commander Alar Voss, a seasoned officer aboard the TSS Retribution, Terran battlecruiser, designed for deep space domination and precision assaults. The retribution is not ceremonial. It's not a warning. It is war, built into steel and plasma. Alara has already reviewed the live-streamed footage of Ava and Mila in chains. The auction is no longer a secret. It has gone viral across shadow networks, visible even to Terran intelligence watchers. As Alara stares at the holograms of the event, her face is unreadable, but her silence speaks volumes. Right. This is no longer a matter of lost citizens. This is a matter of justice. Her executive officer, Commander Reyes, expresses concern, reminds her that Grelzen is in neutral territory, beyond the reach of Earth's legal power. Any action would be considered illegal under current galactic treaties. Diplomacy, Reyes argues, might be a better first move. But Alara doesn't flinch. She doesn't argue. She records a message. To the proprietors and patrons of the Grelzen Exchange, you have committed an atrocity. You broadcasted it. You celebrated it. We are coming. Evacuate now. You have 1 hour. This is not a negotiation. It's a declaration. The message is sent across every known frequency, translated into every major galactic language. It's not encrypted. It's not hidden. In fact, it's meant to be seen. Earth wants witnesses. But the reaction from the Grelzen Exchange is predictable. Laughter, dismissal, arrogance. The Exchange hasn't merely grown powerful, it's grown lazy, believes itself invincible. The facility is protected by planetary shields, rated to withstand orbital bombardment. Private armies consisting of mercenaries from across known space, anti-orbital defense platforms, each fitted with long-range energy weapons, and most importantly, legal insulation. It operates in a zone where no empire has official claim or responsibility. The Exchange's administrators believe Earth won't act. After all, the Galactic Union is slow. Empires argue endlessly in council chambers. Nobody risks war over to captives. Terrans are civilized now. Tamed, they are wrong. Back aboard the Retribution, systems are being primed. Stealth modules deactivate. FTL jump engines charge. The ship is not alone. 2 more Terran ships lurk in the darkness nearby, cloaked and ready. Alara chooses to bring only the Retribution into visible range. The message is clear. We only need 1. And while the ship prepares, Earth mobilizes. Intelligence officers scour darknet channels to find others involved in the slave network. Propaganda wings prepare footage of the auction for public release, to show the galaxy what's really happening in its shadows. Tactical A is planned strike contingencies across multiple coordinates. Grelzen is only the first target. This is not just a mission. It's Operation Pyra, newly launched campaign designed to eradicate every known slave market in the outer sectors. The fire begins now. Back on Grelzen, some minor dealers and lower-tier staff do attempt to flee. Shuttles launch. Documents are purged, names vanish from records. But the main organizers, the richest, the most powerful, they stay. They think it's a bluff. They think humans are soft. Meanwhile, Mila and Ava remain underground in their holding cells, unaware of what's coming. Surveillance drones monitor them constantly. Their cellmates, other captives from across a dozen worlds, watch them with curiosity and sympathy. Why are they different? One alien captive whispers. Because a grizzled old mercenary murmurs from the corner of the cell. They're from Earth. Suddenly, a low hum shakes the walls. The lights flicker. Guards reach for weapons. A distant voice from above booms through hidden speakers. Unscheduled approach. Vector detected. Class of E Terran vessel incoming. Activate the defense grid, snarls the slaver commander. But it's already too late. The Retribution has arrived. In Part 3, the hammer falls. The TSS Retribution arrives at the Grelzen Exchange. It does not come quietly. Earth's warning expired, and no evacuation occurred. The arrogance of the Exchange's leaders becomes their death sentence. Unlike the fleets of other empires, the Retribution doesn't send scouts or ask for parley. It descends through orbit like a god of war given forms leak, black-hulled, and cloaked in tech that makes it ripple and shimmer like a hole in space. It is Earth's most advanced Dreadnought-class warship, purpose-built for surgical planetary strikes and orbital domination. The station's defense grid kicks in immediately. Auto-targeting turrets lock onto the Terran ship. Long-range plasma. Lances and missile batteries fire in tightly coordinated volleys. Defense AI systems predict a rapid kill-in yet within seconds. Everything begins to unravel. The Retribution's countermeasures are brutal and efficient. A shockwave pulse disables the incoming missile systems mid-flight. Kinetic penetrators rods of condensed neutronium accelerated to relativistic speeds rip through defense platforms like tissue paper. A dimensional phase cannon, still experimental in most militaries, is fired once. It folds a piece of space into itself and tears apart an entire upper defense tier without leaving debris-only absence. From the surface of Grelzen, the night sky turns into fire. Citizens' guards, even buyers at the auctions stare up in horror as explosions ripple across the horizon. The planetary shields that once seemed impenetrable are systematically pierced and destabilized. Shield generators overheat and explode in bursts of molten metal. High-ranking slavers scream for retreat. Their wealth cannot protect them now. Still, Earth's wrath is precise. Ilara Voss did not come to flatten the planet. She came to eradicate the rot and extract the innocent. The civilian sectors are untouched. Non-combatants and service staff, those forced to work under the exchange, receive an emergency broadcast. You are not the target. Shelter in place. Any interference will be interpreted as hostile. Stay down. Stay quiet. You will survive. Meanwhile, precision strikes devastate the exchange's infrastructure. Slave containment zones, command towers, trafficking hubs, the launch ports used for illegal auctions. All of it is turned into molten ash and rubble. Slaver escape vessels attempt to launch. They are tracked and eliminated mid-air with surgical shots.
Ow.
Some craft try to disguise themselves as medical or civilian transports. The Retribution's AI, nicknamed Hecate, is not fooled. No one leaves, Ilara commands. Not until the girls are safe. On the ground, elite squads of Terran Marines deploy from drop pods, smashing into the surface like thunderbolts. Each Marine is clad in shock armor, capable of shrugging off high-caliber plasma bolts. Their suits are IO-assisted, monitoring biofeedback, combat zones, and even thought-to-command weapon systems. They carve through Grelzen's guards, like razors through silk. The camera drones sent in by Earthswarm Media Division record everything. The entire operation is being live-streamed to military channels, and moments later 2 public Terran feeds. The people of Earth are watching. So are the colonies. So is the galaxy. And among the ruins, Ilara Voss herself leads the extraction unit to the underground auction chambers. She doesn't send subordinates. She goes herself. It is in these charred and trembling halls, beneath flickering lights and buried screams, that she finally sees them. Ava and Mila, they're huddled in a locked containment cell surrounded by terrified guards and several other captives. Ava recognizes the armor, firstly Gark, with the flag of Earth emblazoned in bright white across the chest. A strange choked sound escapes her lips. Mila's whisper cuts through the silence. Ilara gives the order. The door is breached. The guards are incapacitated in seconds. The restraints on the girls are deactivated with a coded pulse. For the first time in weeks, they are free. But they don't collapse. They don't cry. They stand battered, weak, but unbroken. Ava salutes clumsily. "Ma'am, reporting alive." Lara nods and without ceremony says, "Welcome home." Outside, the last of the exchange's towers collapses in fire. Human forces plant thermal charges on the core command center and prepare to withdraw. Before leaving, the Marines place one symbolic object into the heart of the Grelzen Plaza. A Terran flag. It stands tall amid the smoke and glass, unburned. Resolute, clearing that this place of horror is no more, and above them all, the Retribution hovers like judgment itself. Shifts focus from the battlefield to the witnesses. Now the raid on the Grelzen exchange has happened. Earth's retribution has not only been carried out, it has been broadcast. And now, the entire galaxy must confront what it just saw. The Terran military doesn't attempt to hide its actions. In fact, they amplify them. Camera drones, operated by Earth's War Media Network, captured every detail. The vaporization of orbital cannons, the storm of fire raining down from the TSS Retribution, the lightning-fast raids that freed the captives, and most importantly, the moment Ava and Mila were rescued. Bruised but standing tall, these visuals are sent through both official diplomatic channels and darknet forums. The Grelzen exchange, once a myth or a hushed rumor to many, is now galactic front-page news. Every empire, kingdom, syndicate, and federation receives the same footage, unedited, uncensored, undeniable. Some species watch in horror, others in admiration, but none can claim ignorance anymore. Meanwhile, back aboard the Retribution, the ship begins withdrawal procedures. The main reactor of the exchange is left untouched because Earth wants the ruins to be visited, studied, remembered. The funeral pyre must leave behind ashes that speak of justice and fire. As the Marines escort the rescued captives back into the ship, Commander Alara Voss makes sure none are left behind. It wasn't just Ava and Mila in those cells, there were dozens of others, abductees from minor worlds, trafficked children, elderly scholars stolen during raids. Humanity didn't come just to save its own, came to stop this. One of the survivors, an insectoid female from the planet Jaskra, speaks in awe, "You brought war." For two, Alara answers, "No, we brought it for all of you." The galaxy, however, doesn't know how to process this. In the Zenthari Council, a neutral trade and law-keeping body, political leaders are stunned. Some officials call Earth's actions aggression bordering on terrorism. Others call it a necessary intervention. But one fact is indisputable. No one else ever dared do it. For centuries, the Grelzen exchange operated in plain sight. Civilizations turned a blind eye, citing treaties, fears of retaliation, or political neutrality. The galactic elite grew used to the Rotnum, to the evil they tolerated. But Earth did not ask for permission. And now their silence condemns them more loudly than any speech. Ilara's team prepares the final act of the operation, a broadcast. A message that will not be scrubbed or diluted. She records it on the deck of the Retribution, flanked by her Marines. Standing before a row of liberated captives, faces scarred, proud, and alive. The message is brief, but unforgettable. This was not a raid. This was a funeral. For every chain you forged, a world will burn. For every life you sold, 1,000 voices rise. Earth is watching, and we are not merciful. The transmission plays across thousands of systems. News feeds loop it. Pirate networks panic. Corporate leaders begin rapidly scrubbing evidence of their involvement. Even some of the slaver syndicates start abandoning their stations, convinced that Earth's warships will arrive any second, because now Earth's intent is known. This was not a one-time rescue. This was the beginning of a campaign. Aboard the ship, Avat and Mila are given medical treatment, but they don't return home. Mila chooses to stay on as a trainee specialist, and Ava accepts a position in Earth's new anti-slavery initiative. They are no longer victims. They are symbols walking proof that Earth doesn't just rescue, it fights. The flag planted in the ruins of Grelzen continues to stream on surveillance feeds. Glowing beneath smoldering steel, no species dares approach to tear it down. Not because of the fire, but because of the fear, and far away. Hidden in the dark edges of star charts, others like Grelzen begin to tremble. The chain merchants, the auction lords, the biomarkets, they watch Earth's message over and over, and they ask themselves the same question. What if we're next? The final part of the story brings resolution, but not peace. It marks the end of the Grelzen exchange, but the beginning of something far greater and far more terrifying to those watching. A shift in humanity's posture. The destruction of Grelzen was not a covert strike. It was a message delivered through smoke and fire. And now, the galaxy must deal with its consequences. Aftermath across the stars in the days following the strike. Panic spreads across the outer systems. Markets, linked to sapient trafficking collapse overnight. Shadow brokers delete entire archives. Slave traders abandon posts, scrub data, and vanish into the void. Dozens of worlds once complicit in slavery, even if only by silent, prove or release emergency statements denying any involvement. But it's not fear of guilt that drives them. It's fear of Earth. The TSS Retribution returned to Terran space, but it left behind uncertainty. Earth never officially claimed responsibility. It didn't need to. The footage of the battle, the message from Commander Alara Voss, and the Earth flag planted in Grelzin's ruins spoke louder than any signed declaration. Now, pirate lords and syndicate barons look to the stars each night, wondering if a black-holed ship is approaching next. Earth's new doctrine behind closed doors on Earth. The operation has already been labeled a success and codified. The mission is no longer reactive. It is now part of a formal policy. Directive Ignis, the Fire Directive. The doctrine is simple. No auction will be tolerated. No sapient chain will be ignored. Any individual or organization involved in trafficking humans or any species will be considered enemies of humanity. This isn't just vengeance. It's redefinition. Earth is reshaping its galactic role, no longer passive, no longer merely defensive. In the wake of Grelzin, Terran influence surges not by negotiation, but by dread. The Council of Galactic Cultures convenes an emergency meeting. There is no consensus. The galaxy is split. Some civilizations cheer Earth's actions. Others are appalled by the unilateral strike. But none dare challenge them openly, because despite centuries of galactic politics, Earth just proved something unthinkable. One ship, backed by conviction, can change the stars. The girls who sparked, the Flame Ava and Mila, do not return to civilian life. They refuse. Their captivity has made them witnesses. But more than that, it has made them soldiers. Ava joins Earth's emerging cyber intelligence division. With her unique skill set and experience behind enemy systems, she now specializes in tracing pirate signal networks and hunting trafficking routes. Before ships even leave hyperspace, Mila enlists directly. She becomes part of the Solar Guard. Trained in hand-to-hand combat, hostage extraction, and zero-G boarding actions. Her instructors say she's relentless, quiet, focused, a warrior molded by fire. But it's not revenge that drives them. It's prevention. They lived what others still suffer. Now they fight so no one else will wear those chains. The galaxy once saw them as victims. Now they're weapons, symbols that burn forever. The footage of the rescue continues to circulate. News feeds, black market forums, even Academy lectures across neutral systems replay the images of fire raining from the sky, of Terran Marines kicking open containment doors, and of Ava and Mila standing up defiant in their shackles. One image becomes iconic: Ava, saluting while blood runs down her temple, silhouetted against the wreckage of the auction chamber with the Terran flag waving behind her. The image becomes known as the Stand. It is printed, shared, framed. To some, it's a symbol of hope. To others, it's a warning. But to Earth, it's a reminder. The final whispering, the last scene. The TSS Retribution hovers in dry dock above a Terran orbital ring. Engineers swarm it, repairing scorched hull plating and reloading payload systems. Inside, the command deck Alara Voss reviews a new list of coordinate suspected auction zones, pirate havens, and slaver colonies. The list is long. It's too long, but she doesn't blink. Across from her, a screen lights up. It shows the galactic map, with dozens of systems highlighted in red. One of her officers asks, "Which target first, Commander?" Alara simply replies, "Whichever one still thinks will wait." Closing words back in the barracks of the Solar Guard, Mila sharpens her knife under dim lights. Next to her, Ava scans pirate chatter on her datapad, identifying codes used by slaver convoys. No words pass between them. They don't need to speak, because now, in the silence left behind by fire, two voices are enough to shake the stars. And across the galaxy, those who once profited from pain finally understand the message burned into Grelzin's ashes. You auctioned life. Earth gave you flame. And we're just getting started.